We told you this was going to happen. Over the weekend, a mob shut down the California Democrat Party convention in Sacramento. They broke through the security gates, took over the convention hall. Coming up, we'll tell you what they were demanding and why this just shows how hypocritical California Democrats are. I'm Carl DeMaio, chairman of Reform California, and I told you this recently, that the California Democrat Party has an internal struggle going on, a civil war actually, between people who support Hamas and the Palestinians, and frankly, I would consider them pretty anti-Semitic, and of course, reasonable Democrats who support Israel's right to exist and see this for what it is, which is terrorism and anti-Semitism. That civil war was on full display this past weekend in Sacramento when the Democrats held their annual convention, where they were supposed to be there to unite for the 2024 elections. But nope. What happened was the activists that are supporting Palestine and Hamas, they literally pushed through security and took over the convention hall and shut the entire convention down. Here's some of the footage that was captured. This first video has these pro-Hamas, pro-Palestinian protesters chanting, quote, "from the river to the sea," and that is basically calling for the elimination of Israel. There's no other way to sugarcoat it. You can't say, oh, it's euphemism for something else, or it's a code, or what they really mean is, when they say from the river to the sea, they mean Israel does not exist. Palestine in full takes over. This is a pretty big demand, a pretty extreme point of view. And here it is on display at the California Democrat Convention. So it starts out with "from the river to the sea," and then it goes on to "free, free Palestine." These people are crazy, but listen to the very first part: "from the river to the sea," which means Israel does not exist. That's it. From the river to the sea. They're chanting for the elimination of Israel. Palestine will be free, not of Hamas, the terrorist organization. Palestine will be free of Israel. Well, Israel is not occupying Palestine. Palestine has a peace agreement with Israel that they have violated repeatedly, that Hamas does not respect. And they've been given every opportunity to live in peaceful coexistence with their Israeli neighbors, but they refuse to do that. Here's the second one, justifying the terrorist attacks. They say resistance is justified when people are occupied. So resistance is justified, referring to the Hamas terrorist attacks. Vicious, absolutely inappropriate. Resistance is justified. Resistance is justified. You see the Palestinian flags, no tax dollars for Israeli occupiers. Again, Israel's not occupying Gaza. They are trying to go in and root out terrorists. And the terrorists, Hamas, they've chosen to use the civilians in Gaza as human shields. Look, this is not getting the sort of attention that the media should be giving it, because this is a important thing that people need to know, that the California Democrat Party, which is in charge of California, we have a one-party state here, their base, a significant portion of their base, wants to eliminate Israel, thinks that what happened on October 6th in Israel was justified. Resistance is justified. They call it resistance, not terrorism. Resistance is justified when people are occupied. That's the Democrat Party. They're calling for the elimination of Israel, and they're justifying the heinous, brutal attacks on October 7th. What happened at this convention is just indicative of what is happening every day across the state of California as the militant factions of the Democrat Party fight the more common sense factions. And there may be an argument that there's no common sense left. But the media doesn't want to cover this. If this were the Republican Party talking about, people taking over the convention of a Republican Party and, trying to support, I don't know, some terrorist group chanting and hooting and hollering, this would be wall-to-wall coverage. They would be having a camera in every face of every Democrat or Republican elected official, every Republican candidate, demanding that they disavow these people. But there's no demand for disavowing these people because this is the base of the Democrat Party. The Democrat elected officials can't disavow them. They basically are as much captors. They've been captive by this entire militant group. They're being held hostage. So the media is not going to cover this, but we need to spread the word that this is a leading force within the California Democrat Party. When you vote Democrat, you are basically signing on to a group that allows this sort of behavior to occur. And might I add that the Jewish caucus was meeting during this protest. These protesters intentionally targeted the exact time when the Jewish caucus was going to have their meeting, and a lot of the Jewish delegates did not feel safe. They were shaken. I told them this was going to happen. I said this last week. I knew exactly where this was headed, and I'll tell you where it's heading now. This is not going away. You're going to see increasingly active pushes by Democrat activists who support Hamas, who support the Palestinians, who believe Israel should be eliminated. You're going to see them become increasingly vocal and active throughout the state of California. And the media is going to try to ignore it, but it's a real movement. And it needs to be called out for what it is. It's hate-filled, it's anti-Semitic, it's dangerous, and it's extreme. Share this video. Make sure that people know what happened at this convention, that the Democrat Party is literally held hostage by these people, and that they refuse to call them out or push back. This is the problem that the Democrat elected officials, including Governor Gavin Newsom, they are trying to cover up. They need to deal with it. These are their base supporters, and this is an issue that they need to disavow immediately and publicly. Until next time, Carl DeMaio, Chairman of Reform California. Thanks for watching. Help us break through the censorship of the liberal media by liking this video, sharing it with your friends, and subscribe to my YouTube channel.